Hey guys, AscendantGod here, and below, here with Raid Shadow Legends. Today doing a little something special here, going to be opening up 20 Sacred Shards. This is on a clan member's account, great guy, VenserLord, so he has an amazing account already. He's got 20 more shards to open up. He's looking to get some champions here, so let's see what we end up getting for him here. Hopefully something good. So you can see, just to show his roster real quick here, he has Arbiter. He's been able to get her no problem. Has Razin, Roshkard, who's just amazing in Arena for those of you who don't know. Septimus, another amazing champion. Tons and tons of epics. 3 Cold Hearts. I would love that. And Siler. I mean, he has some really amazing champions here, as you can see. And then in the vault, just tons more. Tons of just legendaries, tons and tons of epics. It's just crazy. Just solid account here. So, gonna hop into here, bust open the sacreds. Now, this is with the double legendary chances here. So, it's yeah, 12% chance. So when we're opening these up, really should end up with at least 2 legendaries out of this if these numbers are right. So I'm going to be wishing him luck. This guy's a great guy. He's helped me out a lot with my account and just making my builds for the dungeons and for clan boss. Been really helpful here. So wishing him the best of luck here. So let's start busting these open and see what we get here. All right, so first one. Ooh, nice, off to a good start. A legendary already, awesome. Ghostborn. All right, good. Ghostborn, great. I don't know if he has this one yet or not. I didn't see that in his roster, but Ghostborn's pretty decent. I mean, it attacks all enemies, 75% chance of placing decreased defense on everybody, and it can't be resisted. That's great. And then a 50% increased attack buff on all allies. So, I mean, that's definitely something that's useful. You see Ghostborn in Arena a lot, and comes pretty decent threat in there. Attacks all enemies, 75% chance of a heal reduction. So, it's interesting that's based on both attack and speed. So I don't know how it scales with speed, but this is the only champion that I know of off the top of my head where an attack scales with speed like that. I know there's a couple others, I don't remember who. And then attacks an enemy, 50% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. That's great as well. So, all right, looking good here. So, already starting out with a legendary with Ghostborn here. That is awesome. All right, next one in line. Here we go. Boom. Epic and Drake. It's not Drakeomorph. It's Drake. I don't know how he is. Attacks an enemy, 30% decreased speed debuff, decreased accuracy if it's critical. Attacks an enemy, 30%, always critical. Attacks an enemy, grants extra turn, targets killed. He doesn't seem that impressive. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how hard he hits, but he might be okay. I don't know. Supposedly 4.9, really? Does he have AoEs? No, it just attacks one enemy. That doesn't even make sense. I don't know why he's rated so high in those. Definitely not for Spider with all the single targets. Alright, so next one up. Here we go. Boom. Let's see another legendary. We're off to a good start. Ooh, Skullcrusher. Skullcrusher, nice. I'm pretty sure he has Skullcrusher already, but I don't know. Might be useful to have a double team. I don't know if maybe for Faction Wars Arena or something. That could be really good. Skullcrusher is great, especially in Arena. Anybody who has him, you see him in Arena all the time. That's for 2 reasons. Number 1, he has this decreased iteration of all debuffs on the champion by 1 turn at the start of each turn. So if you stun him, the stun's going to fall off by his next turn. Like, it's hard to do anything to Skullcrusher because of this whole unshakable. Debuffs just fall off of him. It's amazing. Then he has this 50% ally protection buff on everybody, gives them a counterattack, and places an unkillable buff on himself. So he prevents all the damage to the other champions by 50%, and on top of that, he makes himself unkillable. So that's really useful too. It's why people love him in Arena. It can be devastating. Once he does that, it's going to be a lot harder to kill all the other champions, and you can't kill him for the 1 turn that he gets that, which is horrible. And then he does have a heal reduction debuff if the target's defense is lower than the champion. Since this is a defense champion, usually you're going to end up putting a heal reduction on them if this triggers. So anyway, so yeah, Skullcrusher is a solid champion. That's good. So he's got another one. So let's see, hopefully some more legendaries here. Let's open up the next one. Let's see something good. Let's see something good. Necro Hunter. I don't know Necro Hunter. Looks kind of cool. Looks interesting. Let's see what he's got here. Alright. Oh, Perfect Veil. Plays the Perfect Veil buff on this champion for 2 turns if this attack is critical. So that's cool. If it's a critical. So, alright. Perfect Veil too. So 50% chance of attacking all enemies with an extra hit. Okay. Depending on how hard it hits, that could be useful. 50% chance placing a 6% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. 60%, that's decent. He seems like it'd be decent. I don't know. I don't know how good Perfect Veil is. Like, it doesn't seem like these veils are just that spectacular, but he might be decent. It depends on how hard he hits. It's a champion that I don't have, so that's kind of cool. If anything, it's a Night Revenant, maybe useful in faction wars. All right, next shard. Here we go. Oh, let's see, yellow. Oh. Okay, Grizzled Jarl. For some reason, I'm thinking Grizzled Jarl's really good. I don't know. Attacks all enemies, 75% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Decreases each target's max hit points by 30% of the damage inflicted. I mean, decrease attack, and you can, with skills, you can increase it to 100% decrease attack. So in AoE, decrease attack, that's really good. That could definitely be really useful. In AoE, decrease attack, that's nice. Then, block debuffs buff on all allies for a turn, and 60% increased defense buff on all allies, so that's pretty solid. And then attacks an enemy, 35% chance of a heal reduction for 2 turns, so yeah, overall he's pretty decent. I like this AoE decrease attack. The 30%, I mean, that doesn't make a huge difference, but I like the fact that he's a defense champion too. That looks pretty solid. I'm thinking that'll be pretty good. All right, next. Especially because we're short on champions of faction wars too, of course. Right, another epic. Let's see, Joten. Joten hits really hard. He's pretty good. He's like kind of like a weaker form of Turbolt. So yeah, he has where it decreases target's max hit points. It hits pretty freaking hard. And then 75% chance of placing an HP burn, which is great. HP burn just does wonders on people, rips through the hit points. And then a decreased defense debuff. I don't know why it's only a 30%, but particularly because he's an epic. But it's still, he's a pretty solid champion. He hits really hard, So that's good. All right, next. Let's see, come on, another legendary. Need another legendary. Come on. Corpse Collector. New Corpse Collector. It looks like somebody like kind of like Hexia, but doesn't look as cool. Alright, well, what she got here? 3 times at random, 75% chance of a 5% poison debuff, and a veil. I'm not that big on the veils, but I mean the poisons. Oh, you can increase it to 100% chance, so that's good. Reduce it down to 4 turns. So she has quite a bit of poisons. That's good. That might come in useful. 75% chance of a heal reduction, decrease accuracy. I mean, situational, but it could be useful. 40% chance of a leech. Leech, I'm not a big fan of. Leech just it just makes it so that when champions hit that enemy from there on out, while the leech debuff is on them, it drains like I think it's like 10% of the damage that you do to that champion. So this is the one that I think would be the most useful. The poisons. I mean, it could be useful like in faction wars and undead hordes. I don't think he'd use it for anything else. All right, let's see the next legendary. Come on. Next legendary. See another Rosh card. Rosh card. I'm sure he'd love Rosh card. That's weird. Why is Infernal Baroness blurred? This is the PC version. It's still kind of buggy, as you can see. There's a lot of bugs in it. But let's see what she's got. Perfect Veil buff on an ally for 3 turns. Okay, that's cool. Another Veil champion. 50% chance of a decreased attack debuff on all enemies. Well, that's nice, and it's nice that she's a defense too, where it scales on defense, 'cause that means you can load up with tons of defense and you hit harder. And an AoE decrease attack, like I said, those come in really handy, and especially I know his demon spawn faction isn't that strong yet, so I mean Infernal Baroness seems like she's pretty decent. All enemies, ooh, and an AoE attack too on her A1, that's great. Heals ally with the lowest hit points by 5% of the damage inflicted. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's only 5%, but it's an AoE attack on her A1, and it heals somebody. I mean, you could load this up with, like, say, a retaliation set, and then, like, say, the defense tree for her with the chances to counterattack in the defense masteries, and that could be pretty rough, like healing somebody a lot. And this perfect veil might be useful. I don't know. It is. I mean, a perfect veil on an ally, so it's not her. She can choose somebody, so that could be really useful. She seems pretty decent. Wish we could see her, but regretfully can't. Wonder what her reviews are like. 4.8, 4.5. Oh, so yeah, great for Spider. I could definitely see that. I don't think he needs anybody better for Spider, but she might be a good replacement for him. I don't know. All right, next champion. Hopefully this blurriness is going to go away on the next one, and hopefully this is going to be legendary. Come on, legendary. Legendary. Ah, legendaries. Knight Errant. I got Knight Errant. VenserLords. I'm short on VenserLords champions. I don't know about him. Knight Errant is okay for faction wars. Attacks an enemy, 60% chance of a weaken, which is nice. And increased by 75% if this champion has full hit points. So that's nice if you give him enough speed and he attacks first against the enemies. It increases by 75%. So he can hit pretty hard. It's only a one champion target, but it hits pretty hard. And then 60% chance of placing a stun debuff for one turn. And if the enemy's killed, it resets the cooldowns on each of this champion's skills. That's really nice. That's what I really like about Knight Errant, is with this, you increase all these debuff chances, and it's a 90% chance of placing a stun. So it's almost guaranteed that you're going to place a stun if you have enough accuracy. So you can single target stun somebody, which is really nice. And then the leech, again, is just kind of but it ignores 30% of the target's defense, which makes him hit a lot harder. So overall, he's pretty solid. I mean, like I said, my VenserLords is one of my weaker factions, but Knight Errant is definitely not the weakest link. He's pretty decent. Like I said, he hits pretty hard. He has some decent abilities. Weaken is a nice thing here. He hits harder, because, like, if he has full hit points. You know, that works really well, like, say, with a lifesteal or with a healer, where you can top yourself off, and then the stun comes in really handy, too, when you're doing a manual. All right, next. Legendary. Come on, we need another legendary. Come on, we're overdue now. Another one. Another one. No, come on. Sanusha. I don't have Sanusha yet. I do have her counterpart, the Skullcrown. She works in conjunction with Skullcrown, gives her an extra ability. I don't know if Skullcrown in turn gives her an ability. I think Sanusha lets her resurrect if she gets killed, which is pretty cool. And now this here, it equalizes the hit points of all allies. Hit point levels of all allies will be brought up to the level of the ally with the highest hit points, and heals the target ally by 10% of their max hit points. That's useful. That is useful. Not sure if it's something he would use, but it's definitely something that I would like. I would love to have her in conjunction with Skullcrown. I could definitely think of a few uses for that. This here is nice. Attacks an enemy, puts the target skills on cooldown, heals the ally with the lowest hit points by 25%. So she's doing damage, locking the skills on an enemy, which is great too, because it decreases the damage that's coming in and heals the ally with the lowest hit points. So that's solid. That's solid. Sanusha is a really good champion. I've dealt with her in Arena before with some devastating results. And last, attacks all enemies. She's got an AoE A1, which is always great. And then places an extra hit on enemies with less than 50% hit points. Now this is great because this works in conjunction with Skullcrown, where Skullcrown places an extra hit if the enemy is higher than 50% hit points. Sanusha does an extra hit when they're less than 50% hit points. So you're always going to have one or the other that is getting an extra benefit if they're both targeting the same enemy. So Sanusha, I think he has Skullcrown. She could be used really well with Skullcrown. I don't know if he would use her with him, but I mean, I think Sanusha's a good champion. He's at least getting some good ones here. See a legendary now, though. Legendary. Legendary. Come on. We are overdue for legendary. Hoarder. Hoarder's really good. Hoarder is great for VenserLord. VenserLords, he's definitely my strongest champion that I have in VenserLords. And I have Black Knight. I have a legendary. This epic is much better. Reason being, number one, he increases ally speed, which speed is paramount in this game in just about everything. Number two, does a 50% increased attack buff, 30% increased crit rate, and 30% increased speed on himself, and gives himself an extra turn, which is amazing. So he increases his attack and his crit and his speed, and then he comes at the enemy with it. And then this one here is nice, where it's 60% chance of placing a decreased attack debuff, which is nice, and heals him by 10% of the damage inflicted, and it hits really freaking hard. So it's kind of like, you know, a little extra, almost like a little bit of a life steal in a hit that hits really hard and does a decreased attack debuff. All right, and last but certainly not least, his A1. Usually what you do is you do this A3 first, you buff him up, and then you come in an enemy with the A1 after some of your other champions have attacked. As he hits 2 times and he gets an extra turn if this target is killed. I have him with Faction Wars going last with attack percentage boots, so that he's the last champion to go and everybody else does all their damage. He goes last, and he will just click off 1, 2, 3, 4 champions right in a row because he keeps giving himself extra turns by finishing champions off. Absolutely amazing. And then if you have taken any hits by that point, then you can finish off. If you know there's a champion you're not going to kill, use the A2 and heal yourself a little bit too. He's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So that's a really good champion that he just got here, especially if not anything else for Faction Wars. He is solid. All right, next. Legendary now. Legendary. On. Allure. Okay. Again, he is weak in Demon Spawn. Allure is really good. I have her on an alt account of mine. She is really good. I really, really like her. And she's attacks an enemy, 30% chance of inflicting a critical hit, ignores 50% of the target's defense. This hits really freaking hard. When you're ignoring half of the target's defense, it hits really freaking hard. She's a very hard-hitting champion. She's a big threat when it comes to seeing her in arena. I'm like, ooh. Alright, attacks all enemies 2 times. This is another one that's a threat. This is like does an AoE. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a decreased defense buff and places a sleep debuff for a turn on targets under decreased defense. And as you can see here, it's a 30% chance, but you can load it up to a 50% chance. So this is what is the most devastating in arena. She comes at you with an AoE. Half of your champions are going to be put to sleep and have their defense decreased. So she's really, really bad in arena. Really bad in arena. And then this one here is really useful too, is it attacks 3 times at random, decreases the target's turn meter by 25% on each critical hit. So if you load her up with a bunch of crit, and she has, like, say, again, counterattack gear on her, like the retaliation gear, or if she's set up with a counterattack group, like, say, that Skullcrusher that he got earlier. Absolutely devastating. When she's doing counterattacks, she's decreasing your turn meters, reducing your turns. Yeah, turn meter reduction, don't underestimate it. Some people do because you don't see a whole lot going on as far as the numbers in the game, but pay attention to those turn meters and you'll see it's really freaking useful. Really useful. All right, so now here's the legendary. We're overdue for the legendary, so come on. Here we go. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Ew. Ooh, Crimson Helm, though. Crimson Helm is really good in arena, too. He's getting some amazing arena champions here. Wow. I don't know how his arena team is currently, but Crimson Helm, she is amazing in arena. Yeah, even in defense, 4.8 in defense, 4.6. I feel that's a little harsh in offense. She's really great in offense, too. Let me show you why. She does this Revive on Death buff and 60% increased buff on all allies for 2 turns. So after she does this, it's like you don't even want to kill them, because if you kill them, they're going to resurrect. And it's really, really frustrating because the champions come back. I don't remember with how much hit points, but it's a modest amount of their hit points too. And so it's, and then plus on top of that, when they resurrect, all their skills have been reset, so they have their strongest skills again. And then on top of that, any debuffs you've put on them falls off of them once they resurrect. So that's what's really, really devastating with Revive on Death. It's an absolutely amazing ability. I mean, for her to be an epic and have the skills she does, she's an extremely powerful epic. Really, really good champion. All right, next, Vile Tongue, 4 times at random. This one here is also really devastating because it's 75% chance, and meanwhile you up this, it goes up to a 95% chance on 4 hits, which means all 4 of your champions in arena could get hit with this, and it's basically going to provoke them for a turn, and it does a block damage buff on her. And she's a defense champion, so you load her up with a ton of defense, she hits harder, and then now she's going to provoke all your champions, place a block damage buff on herself, and so your champions are going to be forced to attack her with their A1 and do no damage at all. I mean, that is absolutely devastating in arena. It's crazy. I don't know how she does in dungeons. I would imagine she's pretty decent in dungeons. And then she has this decrease attack debuff as well, which is also great, though it scales on attack and defense, which is kind of weird. But yeah, absolutely amazing champion all around. I mean, you see she has some really, really high ratings here. Really good champion. All right, so now we need to get that legendary. Come on, next legendary. We're overdue. Legendary. Killing me. Hellgazer. Hellgazer is not that great. I have Hellgazer, not even using her. And my demon spawn isn't even that strong, if that says anything. Here's the reason. She attacks all enemies. On each critical hit, fills a champion's turn meter by 10%. But, I mean, so the most, like, if you have 100% crit rate on her, it's going to increase her turn meter by 40% with this one, which is kind of nice. But she doesn't hit that hard. And there's nothing else that it does other than increase her turn meter. And this removes all the debuffs from this champion, 50% increased attack buff on this champion, and gives her an extra turn. That's kind of nice, but it's just for herself. So it's like she removes the debuffs on herself, gives herself extra increased attack. But like I said, she doesn't hit that hard anyway. So attacks an enemy 30% chance of a 60% decreased defense debuff. So, I mean, that's nice. I mean, decreased defense, but it's a single target. So, I mean, I guess she's okay. She seems like she's alright. I tried her for my faction wars, and I ended up going with one of the dogs instead that was a rare. He was a lot more useful than she was. I mean, she seems okay. Like, if his demon spawn are really, really weak, definitely be useful. But anyway, on to the next one. We need that legendary. Come on, we need another legendary here. Come on, killing me. Legend. Yes, yes, yes. Something good, something good. Abyss. I know she is really good. I don't know if this is one that he needs, but I am thinking he's going to be really happy when he sees her. She is really freaking good. When I see her in arena, I always go for her. Let me show you why. She attacks all enemies with her A3. Damage inflicted is proportional to either this champion's attack or the target's defense or attack stat, whichever is highest. This means that she's always going to come at you as hard as she can possibly freaking hit one way or another. That it's just freaking amazing. Like, she hits really freaking hard on this. And yeah, so that is really good. The thing that's kind of weird here, though, is where it places sleep debuff on the champion before you ascend it. I don't know why. But it does hit really hard. That's probably why. But you absolutely want to ascend it, and then it's amazing. And then this, another AoE, attacks all enemies, 50% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense for 2 turns on everybody. And like I said, defense down on people, 60%, that's devastating as well. And then her A1 attacks an enemy, removes a random debuff from that champion and places it on her. So not only does she remove the debuff, but she takes the debuff. And it is a random one, but usually people don't have a particularly ton of buffs on themselves, and regardless, it's great. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. You get to take a buff, and I mean, you pick which champion you want to take a buff from. She is great. She is a great champion. I think he is going to love her. She's got these weird things that fly around her, too. I don't even know what those things are, like these like little weird like firefly things. But yeah, she is really good. I would love to have her. She'd be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. She is a really solid champion. Look at this, Arena, Spider, another one that would be great for Spider. I need champions for Spider. I would love to be getting these champions. If this was my account, I mean, I'm thinking he's going to be really happy with this. This is some solid champions. We got a few more. Let's see some more legendaries here. Come on, come on. Captain Tenneal. Captain Tenneal is decent. I didn't keep her. I did the fusion with her, but she does do an ally protection on everybody, which is nice. She does a 60% increased defense buff and heals everybody by 15% of her hit points. It's nice that it's her hit points, so you can load her up with a ton of hit points and heal people really, really powerful. Kind of like I have with my Painkeeper. Then it attacks an enemy, 50% chance of a continuous heal buff on this champion for 1 turn if the hit's critical. This is nice where you could load her up with 100% crit and then give herself a ton of heals with like counterattacks and things like that. This one here is another thing that's pretty useful, the increased defense and heal. And the ally protection is always nice too. So overall, I mean, she is decent, especially for an epic. I think she's pretty good. I wanted to keep her. Once you did the fusion for Molly, you can't fuse her again. You lose that entire fusion, so you don't even have the option to fuse any of the epics anymore. But Captain Tenneal is decent. He might use her in, if not anything else, Faction Wars. So, all right, let's see the next legendary, though. He needs another really good legendary. Need at least one more legendary. Come on. One more. One more. Ooh, Royal Guard. Royal Guard is really good on Spider too. Royal Guard comes in really useful. I'll show you in a second is A2, but this is nice too. He attacks 4 times at random. Hit has a 60% chance of a decreased speed. Decreased speed is great, especially 30%. Then each hit also has 60% chance. Sorry about that. Had an incoming call there. Had to grab that really quick. And anyway, but like I was saying, each hit also has a 60% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 25%. That's also great there. Just knocks down the turn meter. Some spider, that's great where you knock down the spider's turn meters. And then this A2, which attacks all enemies. Damage increases according to the enemy max hit points. That's what hits the spider or other like basically high hit point bosses really, really hard. Devastatingly hard. Amazingly hard. Really, really good skill. And then his A1 does a decreased defense, which again, like I've said before, is also really handy. So Royal Guard is another one of these ones that's really useful champion here. Another epic. Boop. Jingle Hunter. Jingle Hunter is really useful. I don't know his skills off the top of my head, but I know he has a speed aura for arena, which is really good. A 24% speed aura too. So I mean, he's definitely getting some really good arena champions. And this one here is really good. Attacks all enemies, decrease turn meter by 20% if this attack is critical. Fills the champion's turn meter by 10% if this attack is critical. And this is really good. And let me see. So yeah, this one here is really useful. And let me see here. What else does he do? Attacks an enemy, 50% chance of placing a freeze debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. If this attack kills, oh, that is what one of the other things that's really, really devastating on him here. Really devastating. Where if you kill somebody and it puts freeze debuff, and yeah, because I mean it goes up to a 60% chance here. So yeah, this is what makes him really good. Attacks an enemy 2 times, 40% chance of a 30% decreased speed if the attack's critical. So you load him up with a bunch of crit and decreases speed. This one here is great. Attacks all enemies, decreases the turn meters. So basically you want to get a 100% crit rate on him, and then these attacks are devastating. He's really, really solid in arena. Not sure what else he's that great for. Seems like overall he's kind of meh, but I mean I don't trust these reviews that much, but I mean overall he is a solid champion, really solid champion. Alright, so now we are out of coins, so it looks like that's all that we could summon for now. But I mean got some really good stuff here. I mean this is some really solid stuff. So yeah, I think he's going to be really happy with this group here. And let me see what we need to do here. No. Stop trying to sell me stuff. Yeah, 94,000. So we're a little short on coin, but I mean 18 shards, and I mean out of those he got 2 legendaries. Yeah, and solid legendaries too. So yeah, I think he's going to be happy here. Definitely glad I was able to open them for him. And yeah, this Abyss, whatever her name is, she's just wow. Yeah, she is solid. And Ghostborn is really great too. I know Ghostborn's great for arena. I'm not sure what else he's particularly great for, but he's a solid champion. You see a lot of his ratings here are pretty high. Looks like it'd be decent for Spider as well, Spirit. Yeah, so it's got 2 out of 18, so that's not too bad. That's pretty decent. So yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and hand the account back over to him, give him his surprises here. Hopefully he's going to be happy with these. He definitely got some solid champions here. And I know he has Skullcrusher somewhere. Maybe he doesn't have Skullcrusher yet. Does he not have Skullcrusher? No, yeah, he does right there, duh. So maybe he'd use 2. I don't know. Skullcrusher is a really useful champion. Oh, he's got 2 already. He's 3. Wow, that'd be crazy. If you have 3 of them, I wonder, like in Faction Wars, like you may never die. You just do the ally protections. But yeah, Abyss here though, definitely. Ghostborn, I think he's going to be real happy with. That's some solid champions. He's got some other ones that seem like they'd be really good for arena and Faction Wars. So yeah, any questions, comments, concerns, let me know, guys. But I'm glad that some of my luck rubbed off on him, and he got a couple here that are really good. Any questions or comments on anything here, just let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to be opening up some of my own sacreds here soon. I only have 10, but I'm going to be opening up mine pretty soon here. So any questions, comments, concerns, just let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, stay tuned. I'm going to be opening up some of my own soon on my main account. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next episode. Hi guys, this is Anthony here, also known on this channel as AscendantGod. Wanted to thank you for checking out my channel here, really appreciate it. Be sure to check out the other videos. I got plenty of goodies on here. Also check out the description sections in the videos. Got plenty of links on there for all different kinds of goodies that I think would be worthwhile for you guys. If there is something in particular that you don't see on my channel that you want to see, be sure to let me know in the comment section as well. And I think that's about it. All I've got. I'm just going to get back to this thing here. I'm pretty sure if I just...
We have such sights to show you.
Wow. That's really funny. Same here.